Around town with Taylor Brown. We're feeling fine. It's episode 9. I'm talking to everyone like I'm James Varley because I think he's the only one that's not here today. Everyone's turned up, Taylor Brown.
As I look around the
Your,
classroom,
mic-
I see.
your
Sorry?
microphone's gone a bit funny, Taylor Brown. It's going all weird, lad. Well, while you're faffing around with that, I'll say hello to Brendan. How are you doing, Brendan? Look at this fine array of beards we have here.
Yeah, I
Facial
know.
hair.
Yeah, working on it, making sure we all look rather scruffy.
Chris, you've not got a bad little mane on the face there too. We've not seen you for a while.
Yeah, I've had enough time to go back to blonde.
And Taylor's not got any yet because he can't grow one. Mate, your voice sounds like you've lost your voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Sort it out.
Middle of a podcast, I'm going to get something else.
That's fine now. That's fine now.
Jesus. Okay, we'll see how we go.
Stay close to your computer or something.
Okay, no worries.
While we've got you, mate. What is Taylor Brown going to go to town on today?
I'm going to go to town on. I've decided to go to town on the cameraman that got in the face of Ricky Stewart on the weekend, as he's gone off his head. Now, I had a similar, can I say, run-in with a cameraman myself as I was commentating on Sunday, and I thought afterwards, geez, that could have really landed a couple of people in hot water there. And then I saw the Ricky Stewart blow up, and I thought, what's going on with cameramen this time of year? You're absolutely kidding yourself. So I think, I don't know if we're skimming the cameraman thin at the moment because we've got so much on TV that we're trying to film everything at one time and we've got no good cameramen left. But we need to sort something out because there's a cameraman shortage.
Chris, you're a coach. If I stuck a lens up your nostrils when your team had just been denied a penalty or denied a try-scoring opportunity or had a player sin-binned, what would we see?
I don't know if I would be as restrained as Ricky.
For those who don't know, he told the the cameraman to go forth and multiply. Brendan, did you see anything wrong with that?
Oh, I think that's a footy. I reckon what we should do, we should ring up Fox Sports and put it on the R18 plus one, and we have Ricky Cam, and then Bellamy Cam. And yes. All it does is sit on them the whole time. So when I just pick that when I get that, we've got Sky Cam, we've got Footy Cam. Now we're going to have Ricky and Bellamy Cam, but it definitely has to be rated R18 plus.
And we can have Des Hasler Cam, and we can also have Jeff Tuvey's investigation channel as well.
Those two would probably be in the same place at the moment, considering they don't have a job.
True. No, Des does. Titans. Des is all sorted. I guess the biggest news this week, because Taylor, we put out the last podcast last Wednesday. That same day, Sammy Burgess left South. John Morris didn't leave South that day, but he will be at the end of the season. What's going on at Redfern, mate?
It certainly feels like an identity crisis, doesn't it? It certainly feels that they've lost their way and then they're blaming internally. I've read a really good article today by Matt Johns. Matt Johns basically said, they are a team that has always believed they can score points. They're really good at scoring points, that have just still have this belief without the proof in the last 11 or so weeks of the competition. And maybe Sam Burgess tried to pull a few heads in it and give some reality checks, and that's not the coaching style that Jason Demetriou has. So if there is a splinter there, I agree they need to pick and stick with a path. But, it's really, seeing Sam Burgess leave the club is really tough. Someone who deeply cares about South Sydney. Seeing him immediately depart, I think that says a lot about what's happening internally. There is a power struggle happening at the moment. And I think a few of the old heads are missing out on that, and it's a new wave at South Sydney.
Rosie, do you see the fact that Russell Crowe was the one who made the appointment of Sammy Burgess as an extra assistant coach to go with the first grade? Do you see that as being the problem and this being a symptom of that problem? Or do you think Jason Demetriou should have dealt with it better?
I think it's a bit of column A and a column B. I think if you're going to put a head coach in, the head coach should be the one who ultimately determines his team of, especially assistant coaches, because they would have a philosophy and how they want to do things. They'd want to mix on how they want to do things, and sometimes you bring someone who doesn't quite fit into that team can do that. But at the end of the day, that relationship was working for 11 rounds. I think they were first after the first 11 rounds. So it obviously worked at some stage. Now when the pressure's on, most things, when there's pressure on there, that's where you see cracks. I think there was a comment from someone too that said that their long road trip, because they've been further than the Leyland brothers lately, traveling around the country. Sometimes when you live with each other, you either find out that you love them more or you find out that cracks happen. So I think that could have been a little bit to do with it as well. But Demetrio's a professional. He's paid good money. He should have been able to do it behind closed doors. What worries me is South's probably had issues. These little things happen all the time, but now it's coming out, like these text messages from Clive Churchill's son. A club's pretty ordinary when all of a sudden it's dirty laundry gets shown. So,
talking of dirty laundry, let's go over to Chris Bugden. Have you ever known a club performing so well like South have consistently over the last decade? They've been there or thereabouts, haven't they, for the last decade? Have you ever seen a club implode in such short time like this one has, and then it's almost turned into a pseudo West Tigers in the last 2 weeks, hasn't it, Chris?
Well, I might take some of the negative press off the West Tigers, and that'll be wonderful.
I think it has. I think it has. To be fair, I think it has, because they got flogged at the weekend again, and it's not even rated a mention.
Yeah, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, but winning does solve all problems, doesn't it? And if you're not winning in this game, then you tend to be a target, or you have a target on your back. But and again, it's the 24-hour news cycle, and the fact that these reporters have got to find something to say. So, some of it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that's started by the media and finished by the media, and some of it's true and some of it's not, and somewhere in between there's the real story, and we'll probably never know.
Taylor, we'll go back to you now. Latrell Mitchell has come under all sorts of fire in the last couple of weeks. Where do you stand on that? I did a post on Rugby League Coach the other day saying it's all gone too far, and there's probably been too much hate speech in there, or something that other people categorize as hate speech. What say you about all that?
I think you can criticise.
Microphone, mate.
Is it still not working? Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now, yeah.
Okay.
So I should probably tell people why you've not got a microphone. His son got hold of his little microphone the other day. Remember, it was only little, boys, and dipped it in yogurt.
Covered it in yogurt.
Yogurt.
We say yogurt here in Australia.
Yeah,
but the same thing. It was absolutely covered, and I'm talking both sides. Absolutely, yeah. I come home and there's just every orifice of that microphone has been filled with yogurt.
Is it recoverable?
I've left it where I first saw it because I picked it up. I looked at it and just went, and just put it down. I thought I'm going to need some strength, some mental fortitude to even deal with that issue.
So listeners and watchers, if you've got any experience of dipping your microphone in yogurt and how to recover when it's full of yogurt, please send us an email to tbmedia@outlook.com or some whatever it is, please, because Taylor's in a bit of strife there.
I'm in a bit of bubble and trough. But look, before we move on to Latrell Mitchell and that absolute clown Churchill's son, let's
Chris and Brendan lost it in the background. The microphone in yogurt.
I think what you said about Sam Burgess having that relationship with Jason Demetrio, I think that rings true, Lee. I've had to think about it. Sam never played under Jason Demetrio. They never had that relationship. It's a different era at South. It'd be like, the current coach of St. Greg's or Ipswich or any of the places you've been in, putting me in charge or me as assistant coach. And, I've got different philosophies to them, and it's a different time. I was under a different regime and I had different feelings and emotions. And Sam obviously wanted it to stay as it used to be, and Jason has a different outlook, and there was a fracture there. Well, there's another place where something similar has happened recently, and that's the West Tigers. Although Benji did play under Sheens, it was near 20 years ago. It was 20 plus years ago. There's a lot of coaching philosophy that changes in that time frame and in that time span. And look, Tim Sheens couldn't get a hold of things, and now he's been shown the back door. So if you're going to have a coach, you need to let them choose their assistants. The club that's done it right would be the Sydney Roosters, bringing back Boyd Cordner and the Morris brothers and a few people like that under Trent Robinson. He coached them before, and they've done it right. And they seem to, although they've had an unsuccessful year, you don't hear anything out of that club like you do out of the Rabbitohs, which is a problem. Now, if we're going to get onto that absolute piece of slime, Churchill, so
not right. Okay, yeah.
What can I don't even know Churchill's son's name. Like, what's he got
Hunter
to do with
or something? Or
what's he got to do with South now, other than he rocks up on grand final day and gives out an award? And I mean, God bless you. Wyatt did some absolutely remarkable things, and he will always be remembered in our game. And but that doesn't mean his son can just go off in the media and slag off players and do what he wants to do. And I think the fact that it's gotten this far is ridiculous. Opinions are like bottom holes, you could say, Lee. And I don't need to see everyone's, and I don't need to see his.
Now, last week when we were on our lonesome, Taylor, you and I went through every NRL team, and the was it the bottom 8 we went through in the Host Plus Cup? I can't remember.
Yeah, yes.
I'll get to your tips a little bit later. I'll let people dwell on what that outcome could be. But I thought, because we have got a quorum here today, that we could go through the top 8 scenarios in the NRL. At the minute, Fox Sports or Daily Telegraph or whatever it may be have been doing a really good summary piece on where everybody can finish in the ladder, boys. And myself and Taylor, if you like, we serialized it last week, and they've done another one this week for us. They must have been listening or watching the podcast on Spreaker, iTunes, Apple thingy, whatever, YouTube, and they've done it again for us. So what we're going to do, boys, is give all our tips, and I'll start with Taylor and go to Chris, then go to Brendan, then back to Taylor, blah, blah, blah. And we'll have that on the record, and we can see how we go next week. So the Broncos, current position first, best possible finish first, worst finish second, and they're playing the Storm, who are in fourth. Where are the Broncos going to finish? Taylor?
Broncos will win the minor premiership, I believe. I think that they can on for and against. I'm pretty sure it's a lock. They're resting players. I think they have it pretty much wrapped up. So the Broncos will win the minor premiership.
They've got to win this week to win it. If they don't win it, then Penrith can win it on Sunday.
But what's the for and against, say, Lee?
I think
it's got a lot better. They're about.
I think they'll be fine. Yeah,
than the Broncos.
Yeah. So they've got to win. They've got to win basically. So that was just an absolute dud comment you just come up with, Taylor.
That was a dud comment. Sorry.
Well researched, and sort your microphone out.
Still not fixed. This kid
is
killing me.
Plug it out or something and just talk to the.
I can't. Hang it. You keep talking to the boys. Give me 1 second.
Right,
Apologies.
All right. Boys, do you think? I mean, Storm have already leaked that they're going to rest a lot of people. Do you think the Broncos might be a bit foolish to go too hard for the minor premiership this weekend?
I reckon there's been a phone call between Kevy and Craig Bellamy. I reckon they might have sent a few text messages and saying, Melbourne's got nothing to win, nothing to lose. They're going to finish fourth. All it means is and if I was Craig Bellamy, who would I rather play? Brisbane at Suncorp or Panthers at Panthers?
If I were Melbourne, I'd really like Glenn Lazarus out and Stephen Kearney. And
yeah, I think Brisbane will, whether they, because they've only had a bye in the last couple of weeks, but I think guys like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mam not play. The NRL gave Tony Staggs a rest. I think Walsh might play. I don't know. Depend if Walsh or Randy Mam won't play. Not Randy Mam.
Randy Mam. What is it? A wrestling match?
Oh, I think it's his older brother.
Oh,
to be honest.
Sorry, Randy.
I think Brisbane will rest a few. I don't think Payne Haas will be rested because he had a bit of a break. I don't think Flegler will be rested, but those with a few niggles, I think,
So who's your tip for Thursday and the
Brisbane
minor
will win.
premiership?
Brisbane will win.
Chris?
I'm going to go against it. I'm going to go the Storm just because I like their record against the Broncos.
Because they're basically going to play each other the week after, aren't they? So
yeah,
if Storm basically, I mean, I don't want to get them in trouble here, but if they throw the game by resting a load of people and Broncos get the minor premiership, they're going to be playing Broncos the week after in Brisbane again. And they're going to fancy themselves, aren't they? At full strength. You'd argue they'd fancy themselves more against Brisbane than against Penrith.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You've still got a terrible microphone, Taylor. Go into your settings in Zoom. So, okay. Penrith Panthers current position second, best position first. So I guess really I just need to go the opposite of what you've said. So that means Taylor's got them in second. Minor premiers for you, Chris. Yeah. Do you think they'll beat the Cowboys?
Yeah, I do. I think they'll beat the Cowboys. I don't think Luai, while he's a loss, I think it's a little bit too much to write them off. And I think the Cowboys are busted. I just don't. They're a really inconsistent side, and I think Penrith have got enough there that their systems and let's not forget that Isaiah Yeo, he plays a pretty significant role there with Cleary. So I just think Penrith can still do it.
Will Yeo play? He's probably the only one who has been rested.
I don't know.
It's all going to depend really what happens this week. Is that not working still?
Better now, yeah. I think it's something to do with your connection, mate. Because if both implements you're using do the same thing, it's your connection. It's where it actually goes into the computer. So fiddle around with that.
It's
there, perfect now.
Right, okay. Yeah, look, it's going to depend what sides get named, and as we are filming this on a Monday afternoon, so we can't see those sides yet. We can't really analyze the form, but it's tough to say, isn't it, on this Monday afternoon, what way sides are going to go. The Broncos have released today that they are resting up to 5 stars. So,
Taylor, even with all the information in the world, your tips are absolutely disgraceful anyway. So please do not say that is some kind of mitigating circumstance as to why.
I worked so hard just for the last 2 minutes just to get my microphone in working.
And it's still not properly working, but go on.
Just to sit here and be absolutely sprayed by you.
Well, I see the earpieces are still working. New Zealand Warriors sit in third. They can stay in third, or they can finish fourth. They have got the might of the Dolphins, Taylor. Where are the Warriors going to finish? What are you laughing at?
The might of the Dolphins.
Yes.
It's like that fish off. It's like Nemo at the moment. It's got one good fin. It's
yeah.
The Dolphins not going too great at this current stage, I tell you. The Warriors finish where they are. They can't jump into second, but they won't lose, so they'll stay in third.
Chris?
Yeah, agreed. I think the poor Dolphins are they've run their race. They've done well, and they probably overperformed, and their lack of depth has hurt them at the back end of the season, I think. But I think the Warriors can keep the momentum going.
Rosie Flower?
Yeah, I think the Warriors will win unless all of a sudden Storm lose and they go, we're not going to play all these players now.
Well, by virtue of what you all said about the Broncos, that means that I can also predict where the Storm are going to finish. So if the Warriors win and the Storm win, then Chris, that means that your Warriors will finish in third and your Storm will finish fourth. The Storm, as you'll remember, are playing the Brisbane Broncos on Thursday. Newcastle Knights, current position 5th, worst potential position 6th. They're playing against the Dragons. The first question I want to ask before we even talk about where they finish, can they win this competition? Taylor?
Who is this, sorry?
The
Newcastle Knights.
I was just trying to fix my microphone in the background here. I think the Newcastle Knights can win the competition. I really believe they can. If they keep displaying this form. I question Kalen Ponga, who's going to be out injured this weekend. I question his form. It's got a massive impact on the side. Yes, it is extremely hot right now, but we know through history that can go up and down at the drop of a hat. But if Kalen Ponga stays how he is, we could see the Knights go very far into the final series.
I'm getting warm and fuzzy feelings, Chris, when I think about Newcastle. Not that I'm a Newcastle fan or anything like that. Just that I feel that it's got a whiff of 2009 Parramatta doing it all in the back end. West Tigers 2005 doing it all at the back end with star players playing really well. What are your thoughts on the potential for Newcastle to win the whole thing?
I don't think they can win the whole thing. I really enjoyed watching. I tell you, I really enjoyed their aggression and their physicality in defence. I think they've bashed teams off the park. But I'm just nervous that if it's an AC joint, and I don't know that we know the true extent of the injury yet. But I'm a bit nervous about Kalen being able to keep performing as he has with that. If he's needled up and everything, I still don't think he'll be as good as he has been. And I think there's a little bit too much class in the big games, in the finals, in the teams that are above them. But having said that, gosh, I'd love to be proven wrong. I've really enjoyed watching them. I really have. They've been a good. Them and the Warriors have been two really good fairy tale stories, I think.
Same question to you, Brendan.
Yeah, I think if the Knights are going to win the comp, it's not going to be Kalen Ponga that decides it. It's going to be you guys like Tyson Gamble and whichever half plays, because they need to go off chops to take a little bit of pressure off them. Because when they come up against a Panthers or even a Broncos or even a Warriors, you can't rely on one guy setting everything up. You need a couple of options because their defense is just too good. They'll limit. They won't shut him down, but they'll limit him. That's why I think. And to be honest, Tyson Gamble had a brilliant game against Cronulla. I think if they're going to win the comp, these guys got to play out of their skin and take a little bit of pressure off Kalen.
So where did he finish, Taylor?
They finish where they are right now. They finish in fifth. They have a home final, and that'll be an absolutely packed house against probably the Roosters.
Oh wow, there's another tip you've thrown in. Where did they finish, Chris?
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be fifth, and I also think they'll play the Roosters.
Rosie?
Yeah, fifth. But I reckon they'll play the Rabbits.
So, nice.
Would it be Rabbits or Shark?
So that means the Roosters will finish eighth. Then is what both of you are saying, yeah?
Yes, I believe so.
And then, do you want to get back to me on that, Rosie?
I don't know where I think the Rabbits are going to win on Friday night. I think they've been absolutely pushed up against the wall. I know that Latrell's not playing, but I just see one real good game in them. I think Cody Walker will have a blinder.
Rosie, who's talking about the Rabbits now? Who's in charge of this show? Who's steering this ship? You're just going off on a tangent.
Yeah, but Knights will finish fifth.
It's not called around every other town with Taylor Brown. We go in order here, don't we, Taylor? So, Cronulla Sharks, current position sixth, could finish fifth, could miss the finals. They play the Raiders. Taylor.
I'm really up in the air about this result, Lee. I think this is going to be an absolutely cracking game. But I'm just, neither of them got the win last weekend. The Sharks, dismal. Canberra, big loss to the Broncos. This is such a hard one to pick. I'm going to go with the Green Machine. And the only reason I'm going with the Green Machine is because you tipped the Sharks to win the comp earlier in the year, and I'd love for them not to make the 8.
So you've now made it complicated for yourself now because you've now got to work out where the Sharks end up as a result of that. So answer that question, please. Where are the Sharks going to end up?
Don't know. Talk me through some numbers here, Lee.
I'll tell you what. Wait till I go through the rest of it, and then you can hold that thought, right? So I'll put a circle around there. Do you think Cronulla will beat them, Chris, on the weekend?
No, I'd tip the Raiders. I think again, like Taylor said, I think it's probably the hardest game of the round to tip. Either side could bounce back. I've got a little more faith in the Raiders to bounce back than the Sharks. I just think their race is done as well. And on the for and against, I don't know. I think if the Raiders win, I don't think the Sharks can get bumped out of 7th anyway, unless the Roosters have a massive one. And I am tipping the Roosters, but I think the for and against is going to save the Sharks from dropping down to 8th.
Yeah, you're right.
So should I just keep it on hold for the Sharks finishing position then, Chris? Yeah, for you.
Oh, well, they'll be 7th.
So you're going to say 7th?
Yep.
Rosie, what do you reckon?
They'll stay in 6th. If Hines plays, I think they win
Okay.
because they're at Shark Park, and I'm hearing Fogarty could be out.
Okay. So then on the flip, we need to look at the Raiders. Best possible finish 5th, worst missing the finals. So, Taylor, who's your winner out of Cronulla and Raiders? Raiders?
Yeah, so I did the ladder. Did a little bit of research. I think the Raiders win this weekend. I think they win, but then they're going to play each other first week of finals regardless because the Sharks will keep their spot in 7th, as the Roosters will slip into 8th.
So how's this game going to go for resting players then?
If Canberra resting players,
Both?
I need a team of rest.
neither team will rest players.
Depends what's happened in the weekend leading up to it, though, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I don't think either of them will rest anyone.
So where are the Raiders finishing then for you, Taylor? They're up to 6th.
Yeah, they're up to 6th. Sharks will be in 7th, and then the Roosters will be 8th.
Okay. Raiders for you, Chris?
Yep. Raiders for me.
So 6th?
Yep, and to play the Sharks again, but at Canberra. So good boy, Sharkies.
Brendan?
I reckon Raiders lose and they finish in 8th.
Oh. So who finishes 7th then on yours?
Rabbits.
Okay. So it just got everybody was the same about the Knights finishing 5th, the Storm finishing 1st, the Warriors finishing 3rd. Your bit of conjecture around who would finish 2nd or 1st. And Chris was the only one who thought that the Panthers would win the minor premiership. Cronulla, Taylor, you've got them in 7th, as have you, Chris, and Brendan in 6th. Taylor and Chris have got the Raiders in 6th. And Brendan, you've got them in 8th. Or 7th, sorry. And
they'll be in 8th.
Oh, sorry, 8th and 7th, the Rabbits.
Yeah.
Okay. 7th, the Rabbits, and the Roosters 8th for Taylor Brown and Chris Bugden. Let's see where we end up next week. I'm going to whiz through the Queensland stuff a little bit, Taylor, for a few reasons. Number one, because your microphone issues today, you're starting off really soft and then it's kicking in kind of thing. So just to hopefully make it a little bit easier for the listeners, we'll just whiz through it. And also, I've got an amazing game to finish today's podcast with.
There's probably something that's just popped up in the last hour or so that's the biggest news in Queensland Rugby League at the moment. I'm not
Josh
sure.
Siege is engaged.
No, that is huge, though. Congratulations,
right,
Josh Siege.
Yeah.
Ben Ikin has officially announced that they will axe the Hastings Deering Colts competition for 2024.
Yeah.
So I think a few of us knew this could possibly happen. It's been officially announced today that it has been axed for 2024.
What's the reason for it? Have they given a reason?
Because Taylor's on commentary. They want a reason not to give him a job.
Well, one thing is it has freed up $1 million plus in budgeting, Rosie. So that's obviously one big reason. And we do know there are issues with those sorts of with the dollars there. They've also said that these days it's an under-21s competition with Cyril Connell and those competitions being 17s and 19s. Having the 21s competitions, a lot of the players, if they're good enough, are playing NRL or Host Plus Cup already at that 21-20 age. So this way they can distribute those players from the under-19s competitions back into local football if they're not picked up for those comps, strengthen local football, and then provide a more clear pathway through to the Host Plus Cup from there.
So does the Cyril Connell Melmaninga sort of marry in with the SG Ball Harold Mats?
Yes. This will mean they marry with the SG Ball and Harold Mats competitions to create that sort of universal major competitions scheduling across each side of the border. I think it's a good move. I think Ben Ikin's made some tough decisions since coming into that role, but some really strong decisions. And I think he's doing wonders for Queensland Rugby League, and I can't wait to see that continue into the next year. He's already increased funding towards the broadcasting of the game.
he wants to put the talents on show a lot more, and that's proven. He's made QPlus.tv free throughout the final series. He's increased the budgeting for commentary and videos, and he's doing a really wonderful job. And I think it's going to put the product out there a lot more than it is currently, and I'm really excited for it.
Taylor, you can pontificate all you want about issues in the lower end of the Queensland game, because you know that what was coming up was an absolute spray from me about your disgusting tipping performance last week. You tipped Souths to beat the Tigers. That didn't happen. You tipped the Redcliffe Dolphins to beat the Falcons. That didn't happen. You only had 4 games. You only got a 50%. You were lucky you got the Bears, and you nearly lost out. You tip about Wynnum because that was a really close game.
The other 2 were really close games as well. There was only a try in each of those, and they were both on full time, basically.
What games?
In the Redcliffe Falcons game.
True,
Redcliffe,
but it was a
Redcliffe came
basketball
back,
game first.
and Brisbane Tigers took an intercept on the bell to secure that win because the Souths were attacking the line. So they were 2 toss-ups, Lee.
So looking at the fixtures this week, what are you tipping, lad? So you've got Magpies versus Wynnum Seagulls on Saturday. That's the Magpies who finished second against the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Magpies have lost 2 games on the bounce, haven't they?
Yeah, they lost to the Capras in the last round of the competition, and now they've lost to the Brisbane Tigers.
This is a hard one for you because you don't know who the Broncos are going to use.
Well, that's true, but
especially if they could be resting players.
And that would affect both clubs heavily. I actually think Wynnum Manly will beat Souths, and they'll go bounce out of the competition.
Wow.
I really do. I think that they've got a really not that South don't. Wynnum have a really strong squad, a holistic squad that exclusive of their Broncos affiliation. And I tipped Wynnum early in the year. I thought they had a really good squad and some really good systems in the way they were playing football. And I thought they were very complete. I still believe that.
You've stuck with them, haven't you?
I have. I think Wynnum will beat South Logan.
Even with
go on.
How big of a loss is Dean Mariner to them?
Yeah, it's a big loss, absolutely. Are you saying for him coming up to NRL duties?
Yeah, and who's the winger centre for the Broncos that sort of comes in every time Oatsy's injured? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Who does he play for?
Yeah, he plays for Wynnum. I know exactly who you're talking about. It's on the tip of my tongue too. Oh, and apologies, I'm not going to get this right. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. Deloise Hoyter. And yes, he plays
No, not Hoyter. He used to play for the Titans. And he went up to
Jesse Arthurs.
Jesse Arthurs.
Who's he playing?
Yeah, Wynnum. So I still think there will be an effect. Don't get me wrong, there will be an effect. I still believe Wynnum will get the job done this weekend.
You have my permission, Taylor, before you speak to go. And then hopefully your microphone will kick in then by the time you actually say something. Because every time you start talking, it's low at the start and then comes in after a while. Okay. So just go, and then it'll...
I'm going to sound ridiculous. You're either stitching me up.
Yeah, you're in now. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
This could be the greatest stitch up ever.
Capras versus Falcons. 4th versus 8th. This is sudden death, eh? This is Gonskis if you lose.
Yes, for both games.
Didn't that work perfect? It did. Everyone, I'll wait for my apology next week off TV. Okay, that's enough of that rubbish. We're now going to play my game, right? So, as you know, end of each podcast I host,
I didn't even tip. The last game.
Didn't you?
Who did I tip then?
He didn't tip.
I thought you did. I thought you said
I didn't
Falcons.
tip. No, I didn't say Falcons, but I actually am really undecided on this game because they're both walking wounded.
So they can both win then?
They can both win. It's going to be a war of attrition. But
everyone gets a prize in this game.
It's going to depend. This one will make a difference because the Dolphins NRL side are done for the year after this game, so they will just continue to feed those players back to the Capras. But whereas the Sunny Coast with Melbourne, Melbourne may rest a few players as well on Thursday night. So I think that'll have a really big impact. But I think Sunshine Coast Falcons will win.
So I was right. So here's a question for you, right? You're a kid on the brink of first grade, and you've played a couple of first grade games, but you're sort of like really loyal to your Q Cup side as well. But you've ended the season in first grade and they finish ninth and you're out of the comp next week. And then your Q Cup side have an important semi-final the week after. Where do you want to be? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be out on the stink with the boys, or do you want to just stay out the way of the boys and then play for your Q Cup team the week after?
I can tell you what I would have done. I can tell you what I would have done.
Okay.
And I think you know what I would have done.
I know. I
would have done both.
You'd have done both, yeah.
I would have done that Mexican thing. Why can't we have both? Dun, 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 dun. And I would have trotted off to Mad Monday in a suit that covered my face. And then I would have and then I would have rocked up to training.
Okay. This game is probably the best game I have ever devised at the end of a podcast ever. All right. Off air, Chris and Taylor, I was talking with Brendan about Ange Postecoglou, the Australian coach who's in charge of Spurs in England. And as you know, English fans love to come up with a chant for some of their favourite people. And the Spurs fans have come up with, when I'm lying in my bed, Spurs running through my head, and I think that they are dead, I'm loving Big Ange instead. Right? So I play on Angels. So I thought we'd go with a song theme today. Right? We're going to have, it says 46 songs with iconic opening lyrics. So whoever does their buzzer first, so Taylor, your buzzer is Chris, your buzzer is yogurt. Rosie, yours is ahoy there, right? The first person's buzzer, you have a crack at it. If you get it, you get a point. If you don't, see you later. Next point, next go. Do you know what I mean? So we'll get through it pretty quick. So I read out the opening lyrics of a song. First person to guess what song it is gets a point. First one, dead easy, right? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. Taylor, that's you.
That's Queen. That's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Correct. Okay. Next question. What great podcasting. Oh, well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor. Taylor?
Panic at the Disco.
Correct. But what's the song?
I write sins, not tragedies.
Correct. Taylor, lad. Turn around. Jeez, Taylor.
Is it I need you more than ever? Oh, I know the lyrics, but Total Eclipse of the Heart by I forget her name.
I'm still going to give you the point because you've done well. This was probably before you were born.
Is it Stevie Nicks?
Nah, Bonnie Tyler. That's a point off for you, Rosie.
I've got the most delayed buzzer in the world.
Yeah, but
but I can hear it. At least you know the veracity of the judge here. Like I'm listening out professional. I'm like a cricket umpire without DRS. I'm still soldiering on. Oh, caught in a bad romance. Yes, that's you, Taylor.
It's Bad Romance by Lady Gaga.
Correct. Chris, Brendan, the game's already started. Don't forget to join in when you're ready. I read the news today. Oh, boy.
Yogurt.
Yes, Chris.
It's a John Lennon. I can sing it. 4,000 holes in Blackburn, Lancashire.
Wrong. Point deducted. Anyone else?
No. That was just a line in the song. I can't remember the name of it.
I'll give you a point back then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A Day in the Life by the Beatles. I heard the news. I read the news today. Oh boy. Okay. Number 6. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Oh, it's a classic. Yes, Taylor.
Is it Gangster's Paradise?
Yes, you can
By
have that
Coolio.
point. Yeah. Yeah. Number 7. It's Britney, bitch.
What's the song?
If it was played on xylophone, Chris will know what it is before anyone else.
I was going to say I stopped listening to new music in the 90s, Lee.
I couldn't tell you what song. I know it's Britney Spears, obviously, but I don't know what song.
Give me more. I'll give you a point for Britney.
Yeah. Points galore.
I know. You're currently on 6. Chris on 0. Brendan Rose on -1. Don't worry, there's another 42 to go or something. Number 8. When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city. Yes.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade.
Unbelievable, Taylor.
Stop it.
Can you do it? Can you do it off the start of tunes? Because I'm the king at that game.
What do you mean?
You just hear the first couple of notes, and I go, "Yes, that's what it is."
No, I like the lyrics.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. Number 9. I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand.
Isn't it Werewolf of London?
Yes, you can have a point, Rosie. That brings you back to parity. 0.
No idea who plays it.
Yeah, Warren Zevon. Number 10.
Good old was that?
Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Neil Young.
Yes. Chris, you're on 1. The song is called?
Is it Old Man?
Correct. Number 11. Theo Duzia writes me a letter every day.
What?
You heard? I won't be repeating anything.
Nothing. I've got nothing.
It's Wait for It by Leslie Odom Jr.
Oh, good old Leslie.
Yeah. Number 12. Good old Les. There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief.
Yogurt.
Yes?
Either U2 or All Along the Watchtower.
Yes?
Either U2 or who did it first? Was it Jimmy?
Jimmy covered it, so yeah, you got that point. Well done, Chris. Well done. Number 13. Somebody once told me the world is going to roll me.
I was in first.
Give it to him.
Chris? You've got that comfort when you're about 18 points in the lead. Give it to him. It's all right. Give him the ball. Let him score.
He's going to fumble the baggie.
Yeah, he might too. I ain't the sharpest. It's the theme song from Shrek.
Yeah, it's
Lumber.
It's
Smash Mouth.
All-Star.
Smash Mouth. That's it.
Number
You
14.
don't have that one, Taylor.
Marky got with Sharon. Sharon got Charisse. She was sharing Sharon's outlook on the topic of disease. Mikey had a facial scar and Bobby was a racist. They were all in love with dying. They were doing it in Texas.
No idea.
Yeah, I know this song. No.
If you had any brains, you'd be Googling it while I'm saying it.
I'm not cheating. I'm happy with where I'm at in this competition.
That was Pepper by the Butthole Surfers from 1996. Number 15, Coming Out of My Cage, and I've been doing just fine. Yes, Taylor.
Mr. Brightside, The Killers.
Yep. I might have to do these in James's accent now to like really put Taylor off for a bit. Right. Number 16, Hello Darkness, my old friend.
Yoga.
Yes, Chris.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yes.
The Sound of Silence.
Brendan, you are more than welcome to join this game at any time you feel like.
Didn't
Okay.
Disturbed do a cover of that as well?
Who?
Disturbed.
I don't know. We're not talking about that one. You're disturbed. Number 17. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how.
American Pie, Don McLean.
Correct.
I'm not allowed to play with the radio at home.
They keep having to put you in a padded cell every time you hear the wrong song.
Oh, literally as I drive. No, don't like that. Don't like that.
Yeah.
So I never even get the first line.
18. Now, this is the story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
Yeah.
It's Will Smith
Yes.
and
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Isn't that it? The song?
Yeah. Number 19. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. I don't know who does it.
Could be. How does that go again, Rosie? Let's get down to business.
That's Tiesto, The Business. But it's not this song, though.
It's some dog name or something, isn't it?
Is it Eminem?
Nah.
Chris, you might be good at this one. I don't know.
No.
It's what I said to Taylor on the other day. I'll Make a Man Out of You by Donny Osmond.
Oh. Donny Osmond?
Yeah. Number 20, the world...
What's this a list of? What is this a list of again?
The
42.
46 greatest opening lines of any song ever.
Okay.
Number 20, the world is a vampire.
Oh,
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
I'm giving you that, Rosie. He didn't even use it.
No. Give it to him. It's
No. Rosie, what did you say?
Yeah, it's smashing. And then something in a cage.
So Smashing
Random
Pumpkins, you can have a point.
Rat in a Cage.
Just let's take a
Rat in a
moment
Cage.
to give him a clap. He's got his first point, Rosie, now.
Stop it.
Number 21. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity. Yes, Taylor?
Eminem, Lose Yourself.
Yes. Can you imagine that song with James' accent?
If you had one shot to get on this bus.
Lose yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
22. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year, stole many a man's soul.
Oh, yes. Yes. Sympathy for the Devil, Rolling Stones.
Can I have a buzzer, please?
Yogurt.
Thank you, Chris. I'll let you have a point. Just a warning about your conduct, please, to use your buzzer. Thank you. 23. Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm at law.
Was it sung with that accent?
You made this list up? You're kidding yourself.
Right, it's the finest list ever, apparently. BuzzFeed.
Oh, BuzzFeed.
I've just told you where it is. You can have it in front of you now. It's Renegade by Styx. Okay. That's the halfway point. Taylor, you're on 11. Chris, you're on 4. Brendan, you're on a solitary point.
Is there like a mercy rule where we finish the game?
Yeah. Well, we're obviously going to get to a point where nobody can catch Taylor at the minute. It's 7 ahead. So when we get to that point, we'll quit proceedings. 24. I hate every ape I see. You don't want to eat it. From Chipman A to Chipman Z.
No.
It's
The
Chipman A.
monkeys.
Was that your buzzer or was it a random noise?
I don't know, the monkeys.
Something to do with Springfield or something. Number 25. I'll go back to my accent now. Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. Yes, Taylor.
Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Correct. Taylor's 8 ahead with 20 to play. Hello? Is there anybody in there?
Does someone talk?
Yes. Yogurt, Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Comfortably numb. Well done.
Comfortably numb, yes.
Yeah. I'll finish it for you. Yeah, but yeah, we still give you the point. Number 27. I want to be the very best. It's a Pokemon theme. 28. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Chris, you're the only one who should be jumping on this, really.
Nah, don't know it.
It's the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to get through this thing called life. I would have known this one.
What's your buzzer?
Let's Go Crazy by Prince and the Revolution. Dearly beloved. Number 30. Early in morning, rise into the street, light me up that cigarette, and I'll strap shoes on me feet.
Nothing.
No?
No.
It's What I Got by Sublime. Jeez, we're whizzing through these ones now. Right. I suggest you all get your buzzers ready for this one. Rosie, you might even get a point here. Number 31. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. Yes, Taylor?
Oh, no. I'll fuck with the bag.
Yogurt.
Yes, Chris?
Give it to him.
Gloria Estefan, I Will Survive.
Gloria Gaynor, not Estefan.
Gaynor.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of the name.
Gloria Estefan did Opposites Attract.
That's right. Okay.
Number 32. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain.
Oh, I heard this in a movie.
Is that your buzzer or?
Johnny
Yeah,
Cash.
that'll do. Yeah. Go on, Rosie. Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Yes. And what's the song? The song, sorry, not.
The Only Thing That's Real? I don't know.
It's called Hurt, and it was originally by 9 Inch Nails. It was covered by Johnny Cash. Number 33. You're still in the game, Chris, if you focus. I think you're dozing off there in the corner. 33. Am I loud and clear, or am I breaking up? Am I still... Hey? Rosie?
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
Siren Song.
Rise Against Siren Song. I'll give you a point for Siren Song. Oh, Jesus. 34. Nance Ingonyama Bagithi Baba Sithium Ingonyama.
Gangnam Style.
That's not it.
Is
No
it
idea.
African?
Hey?
Is it like African words?
I don't know what it is.
The Lion King?
Yes. Do your buzzer though, quick.
What is it again?
Ahoy or something. Ahoy there.
The Circle of Life.
Yeah, it's gone. Rosie's got it. Chris, you're still in the game. Rosie, you've yeah, you can still beat Taylor. Rosie, somehow. I'm going to start calling you Newcastle. Get your buzzers ready, boys. 35. Tonight. I'm going to do this in James' accent again. Tonight. Yes, Taylor.
Is it Don't Stop Me Now by Queen?
You're looking at it.
No, I swear to God, I'm not.
I swear to God, you said
All
tonight.
I said was tonight.
I listened to that song today and I was thinking about it in my head.
That's fate. You were destined. 36. Ooga Chaka. Ooga, ooga, ooga Chaka.
Yes. Yogurt.
Yes.
Hooked on a Feeling by
Them people,
Someone.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're still in it, Chris? Number 37. Are ye ready, kids?
SpongeBob.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
5, 13. What's 5 minus 7? You've literally got to get everyone from now Rosie, basically, to be the champion. Number 38. Told you it was the best game ever, boys. 38. All aboard. Ha 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 ha.
Almost the tank engine.
No. Yes, Taylor.
Is it the Spice Girls? I'll tell you what I want.
No. That's a nil point. 39. Oh, sorry, that was Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. 39. Somebody said you got a new friend. Does she love you better than I can?
This is a victory for Brown. I don't know what it is, but this is a victory. If no one gets it, surely.
Oh, 30, so 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 40. Now you can still get beat. You've still got a couple to navigate. Okay. That was Dancing on My Own by Robin. Number 40. We're in the last chance saloon, Chris and Brendan here. Focus. The world was on fire and no one could save me but you.
Hi, sir. It's
yes.
by Chris Isaacs.
Yes, Rosie.
I love my Chris Isaacs.
Here we go.
Number 41. Listen to the wind blow, watch the sunrise.
I listen to the wind blow. Got me there, Fleetwood Mac.
Correct. The Chain. Rosie.
That's one of the ones gets played through the house.
42, 43, 44, 45, 46. You've left it too late, Rosie, but keep going. You're tied with Chris to finish second. So Taylor, I think you're the champion, but we might as well finish because we're near the end now. 42. There is a house in New Orleans.
Yes, a yogurt.
Yep.
House of the Rising Sun.
Correct, Chris.
Eric Burden and the Animals.
Correct. Number 43. I'm going to do this in James's accent. I said, an hip hop, the yippee yippee, up to the hip hop. You don't stop. Rock it to the bang bang boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat.
I don't know who did it, but I
know this song.
I know this little lady sung it on, I think it was The Wedding Singer or something.
Yeah.
I said hip hop.
Yeah.
It was on Patch Adams.
No. I don't know who it is.
It's Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang. I said hip, hop, hip, the hippie to the bang. You know that one.
Yeah.
Number 44, Carry On, My Wayward Son. That's Carry On, Wayward Son by Kansas. I'm tipping Rosie for this one. Number 45, Do You Have the Time to Listen to Me Whine?
Rosie.
Yes?
Do you have the time? It's Green Day Basket Case. Best concert I've ever been to.
Right. This is a playoff for second place, Taylor. You've won with 13 points, although you tailed off somewhat chronic at the end there. Chris and Rosie are both joint second on 8th. I know for a fact that they will both know this song. So I strongly recommend you get your buzzers. So Rosie, yours is Ahoy. Ahoy there. Chris, yours is Bugden. Yogurt. If you shout the song title before the buzzer, that will count against you. It'll go to the other person. Are you ready?
Yep.
Number 46. When I find myself in times of trouble.
Yogurt.
Yes?
It's either the Beatles or Paul McCartney. Let It Be.
Correct.
The Beatles, Let It Be.
So Rosie in third place with 8, but great recovery, Rosie. Great recovery. If you didn't have the point deducted, you'd have been, second place with 9, Chris Bugden. Very respectable scores in the end there, you two. But Taylor came out the traps fast, full of yogurt, with 13 points, and he wins today's song title. Wasn't that the best game to end the podcast ever?
I think Taylor Brown played like the Falcons on the weekend and just skipped so far ahead that he pretty well didn't come back in the second half.
What games are you going to watch this week, Rosie? You don't need your buzzer now. You can just talk.
I'll definitely watch the Broncos play. Then I reckon the Roosters, Rabbits. I might even go to the game. Haven't made up my mind yet.
Chris?
I will be heading to Brookvale Oval on Friday night to watch the mighty Tigers hopefully get a win.
So you're down in Sydney, are you?
I will be on Friday, yep.
And then, Taylor, what games are you at this weekend?
I'm at lots of games this weekend. I'm doing the Colts game down in Burleigh on Saturday, but I'm going to watch the Storm Broncos game Thursday night. I'm actually might try to get to that game live as well. And yeah, I'll be watching a lot of football this weekend, I believe. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
I'll be tending to my allotment. Guys, you've been listening to episode 9 of Around the Town with Taylor Brown musical special. Take care.